alive for the moment. Young Long powering up a little bit, but he's going to get chased down and taken out.
They charge up Violet. They let Violet get the elimination onto Young Long to get the trance because they know the EMP is up. That might actually change it back for the Shock. They had to get the Transcendence, and now they have to hide Violet. That was a really good call from the Shock to make sure the Trance would be online for this fight.
I think if you're the Hunters, you have to just poke a little bit and then go for one big apocalyptic fight. We'll see, it's gonna be the EMP. Oh, they caught Violet! They caught Violet in the EMP! Elsa, the hero, gets him. It's 99%, and they're gonna be able to flip it back. Rascal getting hacked here. You can see Elsa just desperate to try to do it. And can they deny Elsa? Can they deny the Shock? Here comes Shoyabin and Moth. Everybody doing what they can. Self-destruct. The shields are there though. Rascal down. Can they finish off Shoyabin? They couldn't before he got in his mech again. And now he's got the Zarya shield. That said, the grab coming in. And they're all trapped off the point. Can they get there? Can they get back on? They can, but the sound barrier is there. The Hunters, I think they might have done it. They might have done it. Might have, we'll see. There we go, overtime ticking, and the Hunters, they get the kill, and they will be the second team to take down the Shock in stage 3.
Wow. Wow, Chengdu looks confident.
They really do.
In their Sombro 3-2-1. That's a new dimension to Chengdu that we really haven't seen.
I mean, hey, if you use it to beat the Shock, it's definitely going to boost the confidence a bit more.
Yeah, absolutely.
Wow.
Well, yeah, I don't know what to say about that. That is quite the result.
I'm stunned, man. Let's take a break and give Emily a chance to interview Among down the floor.
Thank you, guys, and congrats to the Chengdu Hunters on an impressive win. Good job, you guys. That was very well deserved. Now, Among, those were some amazing plays on Reinhardt. So, how did you outperform Super's Reinhardt? 那么今天首先恭喜你们，这是个非常激烈的一个比赛。那你觉得你是怎么胜过 Super 的大锤呢？
我的队友给了我。
Je devrais normalement jouer Zen, mais je suis nul en Zen. Bah ouais, mais gros. Bah ouais, mais si vous faites tous des erreurs pareilles en même temps, c'est pas possible quoi. Putain, c'est chiant. Gros quoi. C'est perdu, c'est pas grave. Je sais pas quoi, je sais pas pourquoi les gens font ce genre d'erreur.
Zen low.
Come on, boys.
Non, il est one.
Let's go on point, let's go on point.
You go inside.
Watch out for the Reaper.
Another one.
Reaper is gonna ult, for sure.
No. Okay, good stuff.
Nice hook.
Nice. If you start, please Genji, please be safe, man. Please. It's been like 5 times. C'est trop usant, quoi.
C'est alright.
Just watch out for the Reaper. Ouh, j'aurais pu faire le con là. Allez, viens me voir, toi.
C'est alright. C'est all dead. Let's go.
Oh no.
Let's go.
Nice.
Dommage.
That's right.
J'ai donné, j'ai tenté.
Madame.
Bien joué, madame.
Ah, le mec.
Trop fort.
Il a tellement trop.
Big Blade. Fog.
Il a tellement trop, c'est insupportable.
Oh.
Aïe aïe aïe. Champion, hein, le Genji. Hein.
Ça pourrait être pire.
J'aimais bien Genji pareil.
Putain, quoi. Mais le nombre de fois qu'il est mort comme un con, tout ça, c'est insane. Hein.
Bah, c'est triste en fait. Si Blade est... c'est pas un instant kill. Il aurait pu clutch, mais non.
La malédiction des main Genji frappe encore.
Je suis pas sûr- J'espère qu'il était pas main Genji pour lui.
Je sais pas, je vais regarder.
J'espère vraiment qu'il l'était pas. Bon allez, bonne
Si.
game.
Bisous.
Malheureusement.
Salut.
Ah là 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 là, dommage, dommage, dommage. C'est unlucky. J'ai envie de dire que c'est unlucky. Mais bon, c'est comme ça. Hein. Mais ouais. Genre torpiller comme ça, ouais, c'est chiant. Genre c'est chiant. Quand t'as un mec torpille ta game comme ça en Genji, genre t'as un petit peu envie de lui parler mal. Un petit peu envie. Ah là 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 là. On me fait un topo spécial enquête depuis Diamant? Oh non, juste je joue comme ça. J'ai mes comptes qu'on decay et je joue tranquillou comme ça. Chilling, you know what I mean? Just chilling. Sans trop s'énerver, sans trop tryhard. Et puis voilà quoi. Voilà, tout simplement. Bon là, ce qui est un peu relou, c'est qu'on est tombé sur des enfants qui nous suivent partout où on va et qui nous stream snipe. Du coup, c'est pas très agréable. Mais c'est pas bien grave. C'est pas bien grave. Nenny, j'ai reçu un message là. Eh ben. Attendez. Je vérifie. J'ai reçu un message chelou. Nenny. Ah, c'est ça. Chez chat. Allez, on retag. Un duo avec Itadno. Ah, je vais rester en solo là pour le moment. Il serait grand temps que Blizzard donne de vrais outils pour protéger les streamers sur Overwatch. Ah, mais ça n'arrivera jamais. Ça n'arrivera jamais. C'est trop compliqué à mettre en place pour Blizzard, ça, je crois. Trop compliqué pour eux. Non, c'est chiant. C'est chiant parce qu'il y a des jeux qui sont beaucoup moins, avec des beaucoup plus petits budgets et avec des relations beaucoup moins proches de leurs streamers qui ont des outils et Overwatch, que dalle, quoi.
For the season playoffs, as long as they can maintain that top 6.
Yeah.
Valiant, 17th, slowly inching their way up the standings. And what they want to do is reach that 12th position by the end of the season. So if they continue on their hot streak, they have a chance to make it into the overall season playoffs. The 7th through 12th teams will play for the last 2 playoff spots.
I mean, with the way they've been playing this stage, I'd say there's a real shot if they can keep that up. Let's take a look at our stage standings and see where these teams are at right now. You can see the Spark and the Valiant 4-1. Spark only with a 1 map differential advantage over the Valiant, so they could kind of trade spaces. Valiant could take that number 4 spot today.
Yeah, and the Valiant coming in, I believe they play the London Spitfire later this week, so a couple of tough matches coming up for them, especially this one. But yes, both teams trying to get to 4-3, which is usually the bare minimum you need to make top 8 and hit the stage 3 playoffs in a couple of weeks.
Yeah, that's right. So one of those 2 teams going to hit that threshold probably today. But, you know, one of the most exciting things about Valiant's big win last week was Kareev, their flex support player. Played the Ana. We're calling him the Sandman now because he was putting everybody to sleep. And it wasn't just, you know, sleep darts here and there. He had a great average for that. But he was hitting sleep darts on the people with ults on him with the nano boost in the middle of the ults. Look at this stuff, man. 0.84 enemies slept per minute. That's almost 1 enemy per minute. That's crazy. If you've ever played Ana and you tried to use that sleep dart, look at that. It's Safara mid-air. Who does that? That's like old school Jaehong kind of play right there, man.
And then delivers it for the stun as well.
Right.
So it's not only the number, as you're saying, Doa, it is really the clutch factor of when he was getting these sleep darts. He just took over the second half of the Vancouver Titans game. And so Kareev, who has spent a lot of time this year on the bench in favor of Izayaki, is now really having some insane performances.
I mean, that's the thing. He's another one of those players where it's like, it might be a little bit too late to talk about MVP status for him. I think it probably is. But
yes,
if he has as good of a rest of the season as he did starting last week, he's at least going to go down as one of the best flex supports of the 2019 season, no doubt.
Yeah, I think so. And unfortunately, because he didn't get a lot of play earlier in the season, I think he is sort of out of that MVP category.
Yeah.
But you never know. If he has an extraordinary enough performance, anything is possible.
I suppose. Meanwhile, on the other side, if we look at the Hangzhou Spark, one player that's really been standing out above the rest has been Adora, specifically on that Brigida. And yeah, look at that. First place in healing done, team fight win rate, and the least deaths. That's pretty insane stats. Everything in the top 10 at least.
Yeah, and that's in stage 3. On the left-hand column are his combined stage 1 and 2 stats. So the growth from this guy has been extraordinary. And he has quietly become, I think, one of the best Brigida players in this league. And if we remember the Spark, we saw Bezzy coming in, who has now been put on a 2-way contract. So he will be playing mostly on the contenders team of the Spark these days. But as a result, it was Adora who stepped in and has slowly been improving and has become, I think, one of the main pieces of why the Spark have seen this big upsurge in victories here in stage 3.
That's right. So it's time to introduce our teams in this series. The first one of the week. It's going to be great. Let's hear it first for the Hangzhou Spark.
I think you better bow down. Oh yeah, I got it check. I got respect and all of
You know, they've been making many of their opponents bow down so far this stage, but you know, I don't think the Valiant is going to be one of those teams. I don't know. It's going to be tough. I think this one could go the distance either way.
Yeah, and in a world where we've seen this big surge in Sombra play this stage, when many other teams have been playing with a lot of damage-dealing heroes, the Spark have just been playing Reinhardt 3-3 comps, basically, but they've been doing it extremely well.
If you're good, you're good. There's a reason that's considered, or was considered, the grandest, best comp in the meta right now. But their opponent's a team that has set that aside and found what works for them, getting huge, huge wins. Let's hear it for one of your home teams here, rather, the LA Valiant. Fact Fiction leading the charge recently, coming up to join the team and earn his spot in the Overwatch League. I mean, I'm glad he's back. He definitely is a player that deserves to be here. Him and Shax played incredibly well in their last series.
Yeah, and this has been the big story for the Valiant, right? They made a bold move during our Stage 2 break, our All-Star break, by sending a star player in Fate over to the Florida Mayhem and receiving Fact Fiction. Fact Fiction has seemingly revitalized this team. Another player that they have gotten out of that deal was Shax, who has now replaced Space in the starting roster as they've trended towards using more triple DPS or playing Sombra 3-3 compositions.
I mean, in that match against the Vancouver Titans, Shax just straight up outplayed Somin Su on the other side. Like, he was just a better Sombra in every conceivable category on the eye test.
Yeah, and we've seen this big uptick in the Valiant's performance. So right now, when the Valiant run their Reinhardt 3-3, they're winning about 54% of team fights. But when they run Ana and Sombra in the 3-2-1 composition, they're winning over 61% of their team fights. So it's been a really big surge in overall success with the Ana and the Sombra in the mix.
Our map set brought to you by Toyota. We're going to Ilios for our control map. Then it's going to be Volskaya Industries for Assault. Hollywood will be the hybrid map. And finally, Dorado for Escort. But I'm kind of hoping we get all 5 maps. I want that tiebreaker control map today. I want to see these teams play as many games as we can possibly see. You know, only Wolf on the desk predicting Spark to win it. I think this one could be close either way. This is one that I'm glad that I don't have to predict.
Well, I think the big question is that the Hangzhou Spark have not played against an elite Sombra team yet. Now, there are also questions as to whether the Valiant are an elite Sombra team themselves. But Hangzhou, they played against Sombra compositions, against Dallas, against Vancouver, and against Seoul. And we haven't really seen the big game where they show us that they're capable of tangling with the best Sombra comps in Stage 3.
Valiant going in with a triple DPS look right off the bat here. You can see Shax on the Sombra on board with him as the Spark just try to take that defensive stance on the point to start things off. And that's what you do if you're the 3-3. A little bit tough sometimes to bust in. Safari team, Adora getting a little bit low there. Tried to go in with Fact Fiction on that wrecking ball. Trying to go in again, yeah, and Shax just being really annoying. Hacking the Diva. KSF down, though. The Doomfist not able to get the pick they were looking for, and that will be Spark getting the control percent rolling first.
Yeah, it looked like KSF was shunted into the corner and focused down there by the Spark. Now they're going to try and play a little bit more aggressively. Maybe already with the Coalescence, so Spark very prepared right now for what the Valiant will be throwing at them, but Shax quietly charges an EMP.
Yeah.
Gonna kind of get, here it goes.
Going in EMP. It's basically everybody at Dora. Insta-gift. Agility's down, but KSF manages to equalize with a big kill onto Gushway. Now Valiant, they've got the numbers. Can they finish it off? Going in onto Bebe. Now he's gonna rocket punch him right out of the air. KSF still has that meteor strike. It's not going to need another rocket punch. Takes IDK down, and I think Sparks going to have to hand this one over.
Yeah, still you're going to get about 40% on the point, and you force KSF to take the nano boost in that
Not
last
a bad
fight.
first hold for Spark.
Yeah, not a bad first hold at all. They use the Coalescence. Now they're switching it up. So they want to play with the Winston, try and have that little bit more mobility to dive in and focus down some of these lower HP targets.
Right.
As Godsby comes online with the Graviton Surge, there won't be a great way for the Valiant to dodge out of that one. There's no Diva to eat it up, and they don't have a very strong support ultimate. You can kill people in the Graviton through the Mercy.
Season man, just put a minefield around it.
Great hack, though.
There we go, Godspeed. Delayed a little bit as Valiant goes in, puts on that minefield to prevent Spark from coming back in again. Ideally, Shax's down, baby. Managed to find the kill. That Moira can be deadly sometimes. Here comes a meteor strike. Is he gonna actually? No, just decides to use that to stay a bit safer.
He wants to reposition in the back line, but he's not going to get that opportunity. Godsby knows what he's doing. You see Adora waiting there for the engage, and now they're just going to solo grab. That's what you want to do, get the Wrecking Ball off the point, because he's the only one, the ball is the only one that has enough HP to reliably contest. So if you solo grab him, I mean, they're forced to, the Valiant will be forced to come in with some very low HP damage-dealing heroes or supports.
You know, Adora's been doing a really good job of handling KSF as the Valiant swaps up their composition a little bit here. He was knocking him back during rocket punches and stuff, so no surprise that we see Valiant changing things up.
Yeah, Shax's EMP charge has been good. He's got another one. Yeah. This is going to help them. Valiant want to swap over because they know the Reinhardt is going to be better for contesting this point than the Winston.
All right, EMP hits 4 people. Bebe still gets that Coalescence ultimate off, though, and now Shax in big trouble. Rhea knocks him down, and Fact Fiction waiting forward with the nano boost on him, trying to find a way to get the numbers to swing in Valiant's favor. Getting pushed back, though, and Spark have the sound barrier, too, so those extra shields are going to keep him in it. 88%, 90% now for Spark. Nearly got this round locked down.
Yeah, Fact Fiction wasn't in position. He had to charge in with the nano boost. You want to use that when you're already having closed the gap with the other team. They're still going to go in, but this is going to be really difficult, I think, for the Valiant.
I mean, they don't even take the point just yet, and now Gushway has that primal. Oh, but the sleep dart! He got the sleep dart. That was cool, but Kareev is dead in the round. Goes to the Spark.
Yeah, they couldn't get into the point there. Nobody in position.
Yep. I mean, Spark just played a great defensive game there, didn't they?
Yeah, but I do like the comp swaps that we saw from both of these teams. Spark, you know, starting out with the Reinhardt, realizing that they were going to have to change that Winston. Really, I think the big problem there is the EMP and the nano boost from the Valiant were not used effectively on that last push. That's a fight the Valiant, I think, had every opportunity to win. Instead, they didn't hit that many targets with the EMP. They didn't hit the Moira. And so the Coalescence came out, forced the Nano into charge onto the Moira, and I mean, at that point in time, the Spark had already done too much damage and had lasted through the worst of the EMP.
So we're going to the Ruins for our second round here. We'll see if the Valiant can equalize and tie things up here on Ilios, or Spark will close it out with a 2-0 on this map. Shax still on the Sombra, but Valiant switching things up a little bit, going for the 3-2-1 to start things off.
They're not going to run the multi-DPS composition to start out right here. Spark just running the Reinhardt 3-3 with the Zenyatta. This has been their bread and butter, and it's worked well for them.
Looking for those sick boops, man. He's so good at messing up another team's positioning.
I mean, he creates space, right? Because he gets rid of Custa, and then Fact Fiction has to consider he has to pull back because of the position of IDK. He plays in a very aggressive Lucio style.
Yeah. Good poking, too, from the Spark. I mean, it kept Valiant from really pushing in there, too. Maybe really close to Transcendence already. You can see Kareev going for the point-blank sleep dart, but it's so tough to land through a Reinhardt shield, I've heard.
Yeah, Bebe has had a couple of very good matches in a row right now. It feels like he's really coming into his own, getting some opportunities to deal a lot of damage for the Spark.
Yeah, he's had some pretty big multi-kills in some of their recent matches. Shax gets out just in time. Now Agility's getting roasted. There's a lot of charge here. KSF does kill IDK, so it's a 65 in favor of Valiant. They're going to put the nano boost onto Fact Fiction as well as he moves forward. Transcendence right away from Bebe, but there's a nice fire strike to finish off Godsby, and Spark on the outside looking in. They've given the point over to the Valiant for now.
I don't know about using that Transcendence there, Doa. I mean, they got 31%, so at least they held the point for a little bit longer, but they didn't have any defense for the grab. Valiant doing a good job of managing their ult economy as well. Don't use the EMP. And you need that trance to survive the EMP or the Graviton. So this is kind of a troubling situation for them. Valiant should be able to mop them up on the approach.
Shax looking to grab that bank account information. He's going in. Oh, EMP used as they're caught in the grab. Can they turn it around though? I don't think so. Well, maybe they can. I spoke too soon. Gushue down. So counteracting the grab with the EMP essentially, but Shax does go down. Back fiction though, still doing a lot of damage on that Reinhardt before he gets taken out by Bebe. Starting to frag out on the Zenyatta. 2 for him, make it a third. Bebe has come to play today. That was a lot more rhyming than I anticipated. I mean, Spark about to take the point back again.
That was a great bait by the Spark. They actually speed boosted around the other side and immediately threw out the Graviton Surge to catch the Sombra. Shax on the descent.
Yeah.
It forced the Valiant to use the sound barrier. It forced them to use the EMP in a non-ideal way. So the Hangzhou Spark actually end up winning that fight because they had this plan of tricking them with movement and approaching from a different angle. That's just great. That's a great read on what the Valiant wanted to do.
Yeah. Valiant giving over the percentage now. Fact Fiction got the nano boost. Moving forward, trading blows with Gushue, who's taking a little bit more damage. Have to back away, trying to flip it again. Rhea gets VMAC. That's a good start for the Valiant. And there goes Adora. Nice fire strike through like 3 people again. Fact Fiction's been nailing those before he gets nailed by Gushue. 5v5.
Oh, they're using the Graviton. They're
so.
going for it.
People are hacked. That was a great charge by Gushue through the grab. Manages to pick up 2, and man, Spark really pulling that fight out of the fire.
Yeah, and they pulled it off after Adora fell too. So that's just a great re-engage, understanding that after the nano boost was gone, there wasn't going to be a sound barrier, and in those scenarios, you can play with the player down with the Graviton Surge and go aggressive.
It's one of the things that makes Spark so good, man. Very few teams know their limits like Hangzhou seems to right now.
They are getting scarier by the week, Doa.
Seem to be. All right, overtime. Spark on the verge of winning the map. Valiant gotta do it now or never. Hack comes in. Nice Earth Shatter to follow that up, and there goes Gushue. That EMP Shatter combo might have delivered Valiant the point again. They do flip it. 99% for Spark, but they're gonna have to retake.
Yeah, I mean, this is gonna be okay if you're the Spark right now. You've got another couple of pushes.
Yeah.
See if the Valiant can get any exit eliminations. That would be really big for them. Shield Bash going to get Adora out of trouble there, back towards the rest of his team. Now they're back at 6 strong. Here we go.
Yep. Trying to go in again. Back Fiction though. He's got that nano boost one more time. Kareev giving it to him. With the Ana ultimate, Bebe just gonna lead the charge with the Transcendence. That was used pretty early. Valiant just kind of back off and let it expire. Nano for Transcendence is not an even trade. Godspeed with the Graviton Surge though, but he's down, and Gushue in trouble as well. They have the sound barrier. In fact, Fiction got his shield up in front of the self-destruct as well, so it's looking good for the LA Valiant right now. They're getting the staggered kills. I think they need to take the round.
Yeah, I think they're going to take the round, Doa. No one's going to get back in time. That's going to be it. Valiant come back off the strength of 2 Graviton Surges. And IDK was looking for the setup there with the self-destruct, but he couldn't get the right angle to knock enough members of the Valiant into line of sight of the self-destruct. That was the play that needed to happen. Doesn't. Valiant stay alive, and they win the fight.
You know, Shax has a good plan against IDK as well. We've been seeing him get hacked pretty often, and of course Lucio is a priority hack target anyway for the Sombra, but when you consider that Lucio is IDK, and he's known for getting all those environmental kills on a round like that, or a round like this on Well, you want to hack that Lucio as much as possible.
Absolutely.
You don't want to go in there. I don't know what's at the bottom. Nobody does. Give me nothing.
Dept.
So I was thinking of something more literal or metaphysical. Well, I mean, that's, but you know what I mean. We're getting too off it.
Yes, in Doa's world, death is not literal.
I live in a world of war.
part of the Spark who have been sort of